Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This feels so weird to be like in front of a camera again and speaking. Sorry that I've been gone for so long. I am still at my best friend's house, hence like the kind of blank background. I don't have like my books with me or anything, like my bookshelf. I hope this sounds okay because I have a new microphone. My boyfriend got it for me for my birthday at the beginning of this month and it is a Blue Yeti. I hope that I've like set it up properly and that the audio's okay as well. So today I am going to be talking about all the books that I have been reading while I was gone, so all my recent reads from like the end of December to now. Let's get into the video. So the first book is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. So this book is a smutty romance about this 19-year-old girl and her boyfriend's dad. Okay, so hear me out. The main character, Jordan, has just turned 19 and on her birthday her boyfriend stands her up. They're supposed to be going to the cinema together to watch a movie, and while she's in the cinema she kind of accidentally starts talking to this guy who is kind of older than her, but they really hit it off like in a friendship kind of way. Like they just really get along, and then like soon after this we find out that he's actually her boyfriend's dad. So I did not think I would like an age gap romance at all, like that kind of trope. I definitely didn't think I would like the boyfriend's father kind of trope either, but I absolutely love this. These two characters are probably my favourite romance of all time, like in a book. And it is slow burn, which I absolutely love. Penelope Douglas writes tension so well, and from what I can tell she writes characters really well as well. I really liked the mix between plot and smut in this book. Like I feel like if you're just going for a smut book you might get a bit frustrated with this one because like I said it is slow burn. We do get a lot of the characters like backstory and just a lot of what's going on in their lives, which I really adored. But the smut scenes that were in there were a lot of them and they were very good. So you get Jordan's perspective and you get Pike's perspective, and it kind of like switches back and forth between the two. And I usually don't like this in romance because I prefer not to know what's going on in the love interest's mind, but with this one it just worked. Like I really liked the voice actors, so I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars because although I absolutely loved it, I did not love the way it ended. Like I wasn't left with that like feeling, like that giddy feeling that I'd had throughout the whole book by the end, which was such a shame. But yeah, that's why I couldn't give it 5 stars, but it is definitely like a 5-star romance. So the second book is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngan. Sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. I literally looked up how to say it just now, but I still don't know if I'm saying it right, so I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. This book 100% my favourite book that I've read in months. So Girls of Paper and Fire is an Asian inspired like high fantasy about a kind of cruel world where their society is divided into castes, and how high you are ranked in society is based on which caste you are. And there is the Moon caste, which is full demon. There's the Steel caste, which is part demon part human, and then there is the Paper caste, which is just full human, and they are at the bottom of society. So every year the kind of demon king picks 8 paper girls to be his concubines and like live at the palace for a year. And unfortunately Lei, our main character, gets picked as an additional paper girl, so the first 9th paper girl ever. So she's taken away from her home, from her father, to be a paper girl at court, which is just so devastating and horrendous. But this book is so beautifully written. Like you can see all of my tabs here, like I have a lot of pink tabs because I found some of my favourite quotes I've ever read in this book. The writing is so tangible, like I felt like I was there. Like there was this one scene that was like super scary, and when the scene ended I looked up and I was like so disoriented. Like I was like, what the hell, like that wasn't real. Like I felt like I was in the scene and it was so terrifying. Yeah, so amazing. I can't wait to read the next book. I think the 3rd book's coming out later this year, so I'm definitely going to read the next book sometime soon. If you take anything from this video, that would be to pick up this book. However, there are definitely some content warnings which I will link down below, but it is mainly violence and sexual assault. So yeah, make sure that you're like prepared before you read this because it is like quite hard to read in some places. Oh yeah, and 5 stars if you couldn't tell. Okay, so the next book is another audiobook, and that is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. And where do I start with this one? So this is a mystery about a bunch of women who turn up dead and in really gruesome circumstances in Victorian London. So Mary Jekyll, who is our heroine, basically falls into financial ruin after the mysterious death of her father and the death of her mother. So luckily for Mary, there's this reward going round for any information on the killer of these women, and the main suspect is her father's old friend, Mr. Hyde. So this leads Mary to befriend a bunch of monstrous gentlewomen who are all connected to the mystery in some way and this like weird society. This book is actually written by one of those women, or like written, and that is Catherine, and it's such an interesting format for a book. So Catherine writes the book and then you've got inputs from the rest of the characters, and their inputs are stuff like getting annoyed by the way that Catherine has written a scene, like saying that she's romanticized it. All the things they said weren't said that way. Honestly, the voice actor for this book was so good, and she captured all of the characters' like essences so well that I didn't get confused by like all the different voices. So I would definitely recommend the audiobook. It was incredible. So I ended up giving this book, again, 4.5 out of 5 stars, and that is because it was just perfect in every single way. Like, I loved everything about it. It was so creative. However, there was like one thing that like really bugged me, and it was the fact that the author felt the need to kind of reiterate how things were at the time using her characters. So like Mary in particular, like I'm not very fond of Mary. She feels like she has like internalized misogyny because of the way she like treats her younger sister, and kind of gets annoyed that she wants to like cut her hair and like wear stereotypically masculine clothes. Also, they describe, I believe, Native Americans as savages like multiple times, which just really grated at me. Like, I know it's supposed to be written during the Victorian times, but this is a book about freaking monsters. Like, you don't need to make things like historically accurate. I don't know, you guys can tell me if you read the book like your take on that, because I don't know if I'm like overreacting. But yeah, that's why I couldn't give it 5 stars. That aspect of it just really irritated me, and yeah. So yeah, unfortunately it wasn't 5 stars for me, but it was still a really, really good read. Okay, so the next couple of books are books that I've started and read quite a bit of, but haven't finished for whatever reason. So the first book is Dracula by Bram Stoker. So at the beginning of this book, we are reading the journals of lawyer Jonathan Harker, and this follows his journey and his stay in Transylvania with Count Dracula, who he is assisting to like buy a house in London, which is funny because I studied law at university. I am from London. I have a dog from Romania, a rescue dog, and I'm a vampire. But anyway, I absolutely loved this part of the book. Like, it was so good. It actually got me out of my reading slump in January, which is like kind of surprising to me, because who would have thought that like a dance classic would get me out of a reading slump. It was freaking hilarious, and I don't know if I'm finding something funny that like isn't there, but let me just read you one of my favourite quotes. Lizard fashion. Yeah, that was said multiple times and I could not stop laughing every time it was mentioned. Like, was it meant to be funny? I don't know. Also, I don't want to give like spoilers or anything, but without context, this wouldn't make sense. So Jonathan walked in on Dracula making his bed. That image in my head of Dracula making someone's bed, like, if you don't find that funny, you don't get comedy. I loved the book up until we left Jonathan's journals. So that was like, what, like a quarter of the way in, and then we started to follow his like girlfriend or fiance back in England. It just started to bore me, to be honest. I came back, my camera just died, and so I had a little bit of a noodle break, and I just realised that I've been talking about Dracula the whole time without the book in my hand. So this is what it looks like. I got it for Christmas. Okay, so the last book that I've actually like read some of is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. So this book is about a librarian called Laszlo Strange who has been obsessed over this lost city called Weep, or like known as Weep, for as long as he can remember. And he finally gets the opportunity, like once in a lifetime opportunity, to actually go to the city with a group of people led by this man called the Godslayer. I can tell you that it includes my most hated character of all time in a book, like some like This person just boils my blood, and I don't think I've ever put like angry tabs in before, but like I've got a couple of angry tabs. So I am 390 pages into this book, so I think I've got less than 100 pages to go. But yeah, I've just been reading it like really slowly and like taking my time with it. If I had to give you a rating right now, I would say this would be 5 stars, depending on obviously how it ends. I'm going to keep enjoying this slowly, and I'm so near the end now, and it is really, really picking up. Speaking about this book has made me like more excited to read it again, so I might even pick it up today. Okay, so now on to my kind of mini book haul of like books that I've acquired over the last couple of months. And I did not think that it would be this many books. I mean, it's not even that many books, but like it is for me, or maybe I was always buying this many books, but like now that I put it in a pile. Okay, so the first book is, I received this book yesterday from my lovely friend Jodie. I love Jodie so much for this, like, thank you. I am so happy that Jodie sent me this. Jodie, if you're watching this, you are the best. You are an angel. And guys, if you're not subscribed to Jodie yet, I will link her channel down below, because if you like my channel enough to be watching this far into this video, then you will absolutely love Jodie's channel. And she's just so lovely. She's just so nice. Okay, so I've already got over 50 pages into this book because I was reading my best friend's copy. So I'm just so happy that Jodie sent me this like now, so I can read the rest of it with my own copy and maybe annotate it. I'm gonna just like see how I feel. Okay, so I was definitely enjoying it a lot more when I didn't know that it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I just like went into it and was like really enjoying the beginning. Like, Sarah J Maas is such a good writer in my opinion. I love how she gets straight to the point. Well, you're not in the action, but like you're in like the situation straight away. It's not like, oh, here's this person's world, this is like what they do on a daily basis, blah blah blah. There is like the tiniest bit of that, but like it does not drag on, which I hate in a book, like when that sort of thing drags on forever. Everyone, including Jodie, has assured me that the Beauty and the Beast element kind of like goes out the window quite soon. So yeah, I feel like I just need to like get past that initial thing of like predictability, and then I will enjoy it more. Okay, so the next book I bought on Kindle. I'm reading it on my phone currently. I only just started it last night, so I've only read 5%, but that is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell, I believe her name is. I got this because Spooks tweeted that it was on offer for 99p like a couple of weeks ago, so obviously I had to grab it because I've heard nothing but good things about this book. It, I think, is about a 15-year-old girl, Vanessa, who basically enters this like relationship with like a 40-something-year-old teacher at the boarding school that she attends. So this book flips like back and forth between the year 2000, when this was all going on, and the year 2017 and the Me Too movement, and like her current day. And at the beginning of the book we find out that the teacher that Vanessa was involved with has basically been accused of sexual assault of another student of his. And I believe the book follows like Vanessa's realization that she was actually groomed and manipulated. So yeah, there are definitely like a lot of content warnings with this one, which I will again list down below. It is going to be like quite a hard read, I'm sure. That's what I've been told. But I am really excited to keep reading more of it, because when I started it last night, I got like hooked straight away. The next few books I'm gonna like whiz through because there are like quite a few of them. The first book is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. My best friend got this for me for my birthday this month, and oh my gosh, look at this edition. It's so beautiful. It has the red tassel bookmark, and look at these end pages. I think that's what they're called. They are so cool. And then on the inside of the dust jacket you have fan art, and oh my gosh, look at this. Oh my goodness, I love it. If I ever get the second and third book, I need to track down these editions because I want them all to look this gorgeous. I am so excited to read this. I've only ever read one V.E. Schwab book, and that was Vicious, and I absolutely loved Vicious with my whole heart. It was so good. So yeah, I'm really excited to try another of her series. And also I believe that I might be buddy reading this with Jodie at some point during this year, so I'm really excited for that as well. The next book that I bought back at the beginning of January is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, and this book I saw at a Sainsbury's for £4, so of course I was gonna get it. I have seen it everywhere for the past like half year or so. So from what I know, this book is about an African American woman called Amira who is babysitting her white friend's child, and when they go to the local market, the security guard there accuses Amira of kidnapping the child, and this follows like the fallout of that incident and how Amira's white friends, or the white people in her life, respond to it. I'm so excited to read this book, and I think I'm going to be adding it to my March TBR. Oh, okay, so the next book is quite heavy, and it is from Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So this is a romance / fantasy, so I think it's as romance heavy as it is a fantasy book, and yeah, that just sounds like the perfect book to me. So this romance is between a maiden and her guard, so it's a forbidden romance as well, which we love, and I think that's all I'm going to say about this one really. Other than I love the cover. Okay, so the last physical book is Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, and I read Vicious back in November. I think I'm just like really scared to be disappointed because the first book was so good, and I have heard like mixed things about this book. Like, I think people say it's good, but it wasn't like necessary. Like, where is it gonna go? Who's this on the cover? Like, this random person on the cover. I should just get it over with and start reading it soon, because I'm not gonna know until I read it. I just need to stop being a baby and just pick it up and read it. So the next book is European Travel for the Monstrous Gentlewoman by Theodora Goss, and this is the sequel to a book that I've already talked about in this video, The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. And yeah, I just got this on Audible as soon as I finished the first one, but I haven't started listening to it yet because I just feel like I need a bit of time in between them. Also, what's putting me off is this book is like fully like really chunky. It is massive. I don't know, I'm just like not in the mood for it straight away, and I am worried that it won't be as good as the first one as well. I just like something about me in sequels, like I just get worried. So the last couple of books are books that I've bought but haven't arrived yet, and those are Frankenstein by Junji Ito and Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Little Women, I ordered it back at the beginning of January and it arrived, but it was the wrong edition. And like, I have my mind set on this like really nice edition. So I sent it back, and they only just got to me about it like a couple of days ago. So I'm still waiting for that one. I watched the movie in December at Christmas with my family, and I absolutely loved it, like way more than I thought I would. So yeah, I bought it. So I hope watching the movie first wasn't like a really bad thing to do. Kay told me I should be fine, but yeah, we'll see. I am really excited to read it, although I'm a bit intimidated because it is chunky. And then I saw Frankenstein by Junji Ito on Steph's Instagram page. She was selling it. So I was like, I've been wanting to read a Junji Ito book for so long, so I just felt like it was fate. So I bought it off her, and it hasn't arrived yet, and I'm just so excited. I feel like starting off my Junji Ito journey with a book that I am, or like a story that I'm familiar with, is probably a good idea for me. And it also includes some short stories, like horror stories. I'm so excited. I've seen some pictures online of Frankenstein and it looks so twisted and a bit gross. So yeah, I'm excited. So that concludes this little recent reads and mini book haul video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I am back now with weekly uploads. I will usually be uploading on a Monday and a Friday, so look out for my weekend reading vlog on Monday. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.